True.
False. Usually, but exceptions exist.
Depends what confirmation it's in, I guess.
And
Fox is going to kill me.
oh gosh.
Going to post this clip right on the Instagram.
Yeah.
James Sargeant doesn't know organic chemistry.
Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 5 of The Lab Bench. I'm your host Gabriel, and with me today is current teaching fellow at the University of Warwick, PhD graduate and chemistry graduate, and a powerhouse in organic chemistry.
That's an overstatement.
Yeah.
Very kind of you, thank you.
Is Jacob Sargeant. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. All ready for term?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. Looking forward to it. My final year.
Yeah. Nice.
Are you looking forward to labs?
Yeah, it should be good. New batch of first years to try not to terrify and hopefully teach some professional chemistry too, but should be alright.
Amazing. So our first section is entitled In Their Element. And yeah, we're just exploring everything that brought you here today.
Right.
This is basically like showcasing our stalking abilities of...
How big's your deep dive now?
Yeah. So yeah, our first question is, what made you choose Warwick? And yeah, for all stages of your degree, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, as an undergraduate student, it's a very good university up there. There's a Ross Group University, which I think within chemistry is a really good place to be. You want to be looking at good universities, etc. The research was good, the teaching was good, the opportunity was really good. So as a student, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed sort of going through the whole process. And then obviously I'm back now in a slightly different role, which feels weird because some of the academics that were here when I was a student in your position are still here. So coming back again was quite an easy decision in the sense that there's still very good things going on at Warwick. The research, the teaching's good. I did my PhD at Warwick, which was a great experience. Obviously it can be a stressful time, but I think supervisors are good, people you're with are really, really friendly and supportive, and that's one of the things that kept me at Warwick and brought me to Warwick in the first place.
Great. And this is one I think we enjoy asking all our guests. Do you have any funny stories from your time at uni?
There's quite a few stories, a lot I can't tell.
Yeah.
One story that's potentially is one I can tell was when I was on because I played cricket at Warwick, so one of the things we did was our annual cricket ball where we had a guest speaker, after-dinner speaker, and I was a first year, first time I'd ever been to Leamington, so I had no idea where I was, I had no idea where I was going. The evening had finished, everybody kind of left, I took a wrong turn, and the after-dinner speaker strolled along, who's one of the very good professional cricketers, and I asked him for a lift back to campus, having no idea where I was in Leamington. Got into his car, and then when he asked what campus was, I had no idea. So after about a 10-minute conversation, having him rearranged his car so I could get in, he then prompted to kick me out of his car because I had no idea where I was going, no idea where I was, and just kind of had to find my way home, which luckily I did because I found some fellow cricketers. So
Okay.
not my finest moment, and when I saw him a few years later, he wasn't best pleased, let's put it that way.
Okay. As someone who achieved a first for your MChem, what advice do you have for students doing an MChem, or any study tips?
I think it depends, because as a student I'd have said one thing, as a member of staff now trying to guide you through that process, it might be slightly different advice. I think as a student it was just kind of, there's an element of survival which I think towards the end you start to feel, but at the same time if you apply yourself, you work hard, it's that classic, if you put it in you will get it out. There's now on the other side of that, I'm the one giving the advice, let's understand it, don't memorise it, that's the biggest thing to kind of to do. But I think the one thing for me is if you enjoy what you're doing, you're working hard, the outcome will come. It might just take a bit longer. Some people, takes a bit longer. Some people it comes naturally too. I think if you just apply yourself and you engage with the right people, talk to your academics, talk to other people, don't try and do it on your own. Because if you do it on your own, everything just becomes so much harder. Use the support networks available. Academics are there to help you. We're not there to make you feel like you need to prove something to us or that you need to do better than you can. At the end of the day, we want you to do as best as you can and use the facilities.
Okay. And so you've done a PhD. How did you find your time working sort of in research and then in industry as well?
Good question. I mean, my third year, I worked for a company in Reading, in Bracknell, called Sargeant. So I did my third year at the same time, which was hard because I travelled back home to play cricket. So I didn't have a weekend to do any of my work. So I'd stay after work. And the Wi-Fi was dreadful, so I had to stay in the office and do all my stuff. And it was hard work. Put a lot of effort into it, but I got the result out of it because one, I didn't have to do an extra year when I came back as my third year. But also I learned a lot of time management skills. I learned how to work in a professional environment, how to do those skills that you kind of, we try and teach you at university, but then there is no substitute for real world experience. So when I came back, having been in industry, things kind of felt a bit easier or slightly less difficult as they might have first seemed. And then, doing a PhD, it's a kind of, you treat it how you want to treat it, but if you treat it as an industry job in the sense that you try and work set hours, it doesn't always work with PhDs because you might need earlier starts or later finishes, but if you try and treat it in that sense, which is what I try to do, again, lean on your supervisor, lean on other PhDs and postdocs, and then use what I brought from industry into there. I think that was a good way to look at it. And then obviously I went to industry after my PhD, which is a great experience, again, learning loads of things, access to and the ability to do lots of different chemistries, access to different projects, learning things that I'd never come across before. And then that's what I now try and bring back to you guys and try and teach you in the lab, those kind of industrial things that I learned, little tips and tricks I picked up from chemists that were far better than me, that taught me lots, that gave me the ability to learn, and being humble enough to go, actually, I'm not the best at this, I need to learn off you, or I need to get that, and then trying to bring that to you guys, because nobody knows everything, so just being willing to take on board any advice.
Okay, so after your PhD, I think according to our research, you went to work for Charnwood Molecular.
I did, yeah.
Now Charnwood Discovery.
Yeah.
What made you come back to Warwick, and how has it been being a teaching fellow now, as you are?
Well, one of the main driving points was that I live in Leamington, the job was in Nottingham, then it moved to Loughborough. So commuting-wise, it was a lot. Wasn't a problem because I enjoyed the job. The chemistry was good fun, working in a lab, good people. So that was a driving factor when you're spending a significant chunk of your salary on commuting costs,
and
wear and tear, time, plus you're leaving early, you're getting back late. Doesn't leave you a lot of time for things outside, which when I play a lot of cricket, do a lot of coaching. Again, it limits your time then at home, especially with my wife. So that was a driving factor. Also, the company's now closed.
Right.
It's been absorbed. We might need to check. Basically, the company was sort of looking like it might be absorbed by another company and then relocate. So the job came up at Warwick. It kind of all fit into place in the sense that it was a local job. I'd enjoyed my time at industry, and I wanted to kind of now come back to Warwick and give back a little bit of knowledge that I'd acquired in industry. So, the fact that it closed didn't help.
Yeah.
Or did.
Okay. And what are your two best pieces of advice for someone starting uni?
Do what makes you feel uncomfortable. It's not always easy, whether that's knocking on the door of someone else's room and asking to talk to them, go for a drink, some food, join a society or something like that you might necessarily do, but make friends, make some other way of getting to university, because if you do it alone, I think it must be a hard experience. Secondly, I think just apply yourself. It's not about, working 100% all the time. Sometimes you might need a bit of a day off, or you might need some time to reflect, but give yourself a good work-life balance. Don't go 100% work, and definitely don't go 100% not work, but find a steady middle ground and then try and keep on track with that, because the worst thing you can do is be constantly trying to catch up, because university just gets quicker. And the last thing you want to be doing is playing catch up from day one.
Yeah, I think having a routine is really important.
Yeah.
Awesome. And now brings us to our next section called Rapid Reactions. The best section, for me anyway, asking the questions. It's a set of 15 chemistry related questions, and you've got to answer as quickly as you can, true or false.
Can we do this where I answer the one and one, and then you just make sure I get them all right at the end?
We'll let you know.
Together.
No, we'll let you know straight after if it's correct or not. Helium can form a stable compound under extreme conditions. Some of these are quite niche, by the way.
I'm an organic chemist. True.
Correct. Apparently it's with sodium.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And all spontaneous reactions occur quickly.
False.
Correct. Water boils at 100 degrees under all conditions.
False.
Correct. Okay. A Bunsen burner flame is hottest at the tip of the blue cone.
I don't tend to stick my hand in Bunsen burners. Let's go true.
Correct. And you can measure Avogadro's number with just a ruler and some olive oil.
That's very niche. It's probably true.
Yeah, correct. Classic monolayer experiment. And neon signs always glow red-orange.
False.
True. Apparently other colours come from different gases or phosphors.
Okay.
And there is alcohol floating in space right now.
I want to say false, but that's probably true. Let's go true.
Yeah, true. I think we've established the ones that are out there are usually true. So giant clouds of ethanol and methanol float in the interstellar medium, apparently.
Fair enough.
And another space one, Mars looks red because of copper oxide.
False. I think it's something else. But
Yeah.
what it is.
Correct, iron oxide rust.
There you go.
And if you put water on the moon, it boils instantly.
Probably true.
Correct?
What will be true?
Yeah, low pressure.
Yeah.
And then,
That's why I was surprised that alcohol was in space. For the same reason. But I don't know, you can edit that bit out.
and then I think we've got some, organic chemistry related questions just for you.
We could stick to the obscure ones, so if I get them wrong, it doesn't look bad on me then.
In cyclohexane, the equatorial position is always more stable than the axial position.
True.
False. Usually, but exceptions exist.
Depends what conformation it's in, I guess.
And
Fox is going to kill me.
oh gosh,
Gonna post this clip right on the Instagram.
yeah.
James the Sargeant doesn't know organic chemistry.
Let's not. I'd edit that one out completely. I knew you'd sting me with something.
The anti-periplanar geometry is always required for an E2 elimination.
That's what we teach you, but I think there are exceptions to the rule, and we teach you the exceptions. So it's false.
Correct. Every concerted pericyclic reaction conserves orbital symmetry.
false. I think there are exceptions. Delving into things I don't think about as much anymore. Go true, given by a reaction to me saying false, but it's been a long time since I've looked at those kind of reactions.
It's true. Only if you apply the Woodward-Hoffman rules, though.
Okay. Yeah.
And a negative heat capacity is physically impossible.
False.
Correct. It occurs in self-gravitating systems, stars, and black holes.
That would be my second guess.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, nuclear fission of elements heavier than iron is exothermic.
I've got no idea. False.
True. But you're not. You're an organic chemist. And lastly, the 3D orbital in zinc is fully filled. You just heard orbital. Is fully filled in its ground state, yet zinc 2 plus has no d electrons.
False.
True.
I'll put you in joint second. You got 11.
Okay,
I'll take that.
that's respectable.
Probably, depending on how many organic questions I got wrong.
Only one.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not show anyone that one.
You can't use
Yeah.
that section.
Okay. And lastly, our final section is a student Q&A. So you're answering questions submitted by students,
Specifically for me or in general?
specifically for you.
Brilliant. This is going to depend on how much the students like me, I guess, or don't in that sense.
I think they're pretty nice. So firstly, how much prep do you think students should do before a lab?
It depends on the lab. Some things you can't prepare for. You know, if you can read the prep, you can know what you're doing. I think you should be at least knowing what chemicals you're going to use, what techniques you're going to do, what rough order you want to do the lab in, as opposed to me saying what's next, or especially if I'm asking you what's in that. There shouldn't really be much more than a 10-second pause while you think about it. You should know what you're doing. That's for me the key things. As long as I understand that you know what you're doing because you're prepared, as opposed to you've had to look at the prep and go, oh, I'm at this point.
Okay.
If you can prepare so that you can at least understand what you're doing when asked, I think that's a good level of prep.
Okay. And what was your favourite lab as a student, and what's your favourite lab now, teaching?
That's a great question. I don't know, to be honest. Certain labs are better to teach, certain labs are better to demonstrate, or we passed the RO1 experiment, the business one is quite good because you all come in, you all hate what you're about to do because you think, oh, I'm not going to engage in this, and then by the end of it we've won you over and you actually really do engage. So that's good from a pedagogical point of view because you see students engage. That wasn't available when I was a student. I would have probably been the same kind of engagement kind of curve I saw. So I like demonstrating that one. Practically, I like demonstrating ones where there are different ways to do the same thing, and I can teach you different methods of doing it depending on the student and whether or not you like that method, or you want a more efficient way of doing it, or you want to leave it and go for lunch or something. So I like those kind of labs. Ones I liked as a student, to be fair, I can't remember many. The ones that I teach now that I did were probably imine formation, I think, just because I know that I'm going to do that one. But I'll be honest, I think reductive amination, I think, is one that's coming up, which is quite a nice lab because it's quite logical as well in the way it works.
Okay. Nice. And as someone who did a PhD, could you tell us how you found it? And also, could you give someone advice who may be thinking about it?
Yeah, in terms of how I found it, I think I found it very stereotypically like a lot of PhD students do. You kind of come in, you kind of get involved. I was quite lucky in the sense that my project was quite successful at the start, so I got quite a lot of results. I did an MRBTP year where I went and learned different things. I started with Greg, I worked with Greg Chellis, so I did a project that was building on quite a long-standing project, so we got quite good results quite quickly. Not particularly down to me, I just happened to be assigned to doing that and then went through the processes. So it's good to start with some success, because they can be quite difficult processes in a PhD where you end up banging your head against a wall because you don't do anything. For example, my last 3 months I tried to get the same thing to work different ways and got very little out of it. So, you know, I kind of got a good experience in that sense. But like a lot of PhD students, you kind of get to a point, I think, where the stress levels, because you know you've got to write up, you know you've got to get results, and you start to kind of potentially, you're not done with it, but you know you're ready to kind of try and wind it all and write it up. My last year was kind of affected by COVID, which for me worked because I then was able to write up during that period, work out what the holes in my research was, and then go back into the lab once we're allowed to, and then, you know, fill in those blanks. But at the same time, it was a great experience because you're given independence. You're not treated in the same way. You know, if you don't turn up, I was supervised in a way that it's your project, you've got supervision, you've got direction, but if you don't put in the effort, you won't get the results out, you won't get your PhD, you won't be able to write anything up. So it teaches you a lot as well, in that sense. Advice for anybody doing it, I think just make sure that you want to work for the person that you're looking at, not just because you think what they're doing is interesting. I think, you know, you're going to spend potentially 4 years with this academic. You know, all the academics that I know are really good, but at the same time, you've got to be able to get on with them. You've got to be able to get on with the research, the people in the group as well, get to know them. It can be hard if you're a student trying to, you know, get to know people in research groups, which I think URSS schemes and summer projects, etc., kind of give you that avenue in. I didn't do that, but I've seen students that have done that, and then they've reaped the benefits of that because they've kind of walked into that group as someone who's already had experience rather than a fresh face. But I think just embrace it, do your research to know what you want to do, and just give it a go, and try and enjoy it. And you know, at the end of the day, you've got to put in the work. It's like anything, you've got to put in the work to get anything out of it.
Okay, well, great. Cool. Thank you. That's the end of the questions. And yeah, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
And to our viewers, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at the.labbench as one word, and at Warwick Chem. And I will see you in the next episode.